Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. This is episode number 94 of Keepin' It Rio. And today I got a really cool guest. I got Billy Batt in the house from Top Recruiter. Billy, what is going on, my friend? Long time no see.
Dude, it's been a while. Also, like, man, where do we first get connected? Was that GrowthCon 2?
The one in Miami at the Marlins Stadium.
No, didn't we connect before then, even at the Vegas one?
I didn't go to that one.
Okay, so it was Miami.
It was in Miami, yeah. And I still to this day I have this this 10X growth conference thing on from that event.
Same.
Man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, success demands attention.
It's crazy how much stuff has happened in the time since this bracelet was put on my wrist. That was in like February of 19, I guess. Like I got a whole world of stuff that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, it's been a couple years, man. I've been, growing over here in the industry, and you as well over in Canada. I hadn't seen you in a while. You've been kind of low key, kind of building some stuff up, or what you got going on?
Doing a lot of back end. We had a lot of team changing stuff, and sometimes it's good to work on the infrastructure before you go like all out. I had a bunch of misalignment too in my business. I had salespeople selling things and over promising things that weren't a part of our packages. I had, just like in any business, in roofing business, you get that all the time. Guys promising the gutters and all this stuff, right? Like
we'll do the stucco, sign today.
Yeah. We'll do your bathroom too for free.
Give you an iPad
and an iPad. Yeah. So I was having some infrastructure things I didn't like. And I had to change. I had to take a step back, take a step out. And then I just hired a COO, in the last, month and a half ago through a highly recommended friend, that's familiar with our industry. Just getting all the data transferred over to him, everything out of my head and my business into our new ERP system. So since doing that now, it's starting to open up my gates to go back into the marketing, back onto the forefront of being the face and getting leads in, building more content, all that stuff. Really excited about all that. And the recruitment company is doing great. It's almost like as if you're running a marketing company, sort of, but a little bit of difference. Like, when you're buying marketing, people are like, what's the ROI? What's this and that? Well, if you pay a recruitment company, there's companies that charge like $9,000 to $15,000 just to hire a recruiter with no promises. Our prices are a lot cheaper, and we have a lot more dialed in targeting through using social platforms. We mainly work with roof and solar contractors. There is some events that I am doing as well. I was pretty big in the event space prior to 2020, and I decided to kick that back up. So we got 3 events actually we're working with now. I'm going to cap it at 5, but we're helping them with their marketing. We're helping them with the recruitment. We're helping them with their offers, and same with our contractors. We're doing really well in that space. And if you lock up a couple good guys, honestly, like, a solid guy can bring you $1 million a year in revenue. You lock up a couple guys from our services that pays for like 10, 15 fold, right?
Yeah. And that, no doubt about that. That's pretty awesome. I mean, like, it's good to see, I'm with you 100% on kind of like taking a step back and reassessing the situation and saying, okay, we're a little ways into this now. Let's see what's going good. Let's see what we can do better.
Yeah.
And let's make it, as razor sharp as we can possibly do. Mm-hmm. And that does require, downsizing sometimes, maybe, cutting off some things that maybe aren't beneficial. And I've been going through the same exact thing. So I can certainly appreciate what you've got going on there.
Yeah, I had to I think I got rid of like 13 people. There was people internally that were having arguments within my company. One of the biggest things is that I follow from Grant stuff is no negativity. Like, I don't need that stuff in my company. You want to have negative stuff, you bring that to your home. And even then, you're probably going to bring it to work and you're probably not a good fit. So there was 2 people I had to let go of because of that situation. There was other people that just weren't doing their job, and they were making it look like they were doing their job, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Oh, the boss is coming.
Yeah, right. Everybody looked
Oh, the
busy.
boss is
Grab
coming.
a broom. I got you.
Yeah. No, I've been there. I worked in the oil field for 8 years, so I know all about that.
Right.
I know all about those guys.
Yeah, anybody that's done labor of any sort is, I'm the same way. I did the drywall, or not drywall, but I threw conveyor truck shingle deliveries for 12 years. So it's like,
yeah.
I know all the tricks on how to get out of doing shit, like if I don't want to do it, I can certainly occupy myself doing something else that makes it look like I'm busy. So
100%.
Respect to those guys. There's a place for them in the world.
Oh yeah. No, I actually just got a call not long ago. One guy wanted me to come back up to the oil field. They were paying out $1,700 a day if I wanted to come back for me, and I was like, nope,
No,
can't do
yeah.
it.
Give me a couple more zeros, maybe.
17 G's a day. Okay, probably.
Hey, how nice is it though to be able to say no? I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it because I don't have to, and that's a lot of money. A lot of people would just say, "Dude, I don't care about
honestly,
happiness. I'm doing it for the dollar." And
but I just it's you have to understand when you grow to a certain point mentally and who you like to surround yourself with and the mental state that I'm currently in, like I can't hang around those people
it
anymore.
just doesn't
Period.
work.
It would
Yeah.
make me miserable. Another thing is I'm the reason why I quit working in the oil field was to spend more time with my daughter. I've been battling for my daughter. If some people have been following me, they know that I'm battling for my daughter, and I've been getting some W's, by the way, one by one, bit by bit.
Nice.
It's been like a 14-month battle. She's tried all the stuff in the book with me and my family, and she's the instigator, plays victim, all that stuff. So I've been dealing with all this while building my company, while going deep on my company, while spending time with my daughter. I get my daughter this evening again, and we're actually going to go bring in. We went shopping 2 weekends ago. We're going to be we got these gift boxes we're giving to the church, and I got like 10 of them here, something like that. And we're going to go to the church tonight and drop them off, and they're going to be sent out over to Africa for some kids and stuff like that. So helping out some of the kids. So I not only am I like living a different life than the oil field, I'm also able to give back a bit. And even though like I probably could do a bit more, but I also have been learning to be smarter with my finances. One of my biggest issues when I was first in this game was I'm a trigger puller. And if
Me too.
I
Trust
see
me.
something that's
Big
shiny, oh, I'm buying it, right? And so because I have the new COO, I've been being more calculated with the things that I'm doing. I was even a bit more before that, but I've been thinking about the things that I think about. I've been thinking about the actions, like stepping out of myself and looking at myself. Does that make sense? Like,
oh, dude, I literally have think about what you think about written on a whiteboard about 5 feet away from me right
nice.
here. So yes, I'm on the same page with you for sure on that.
I think that's probably one of my biggest things. There was a couple big things that when I first got into this online business, and I'm familiar with the construction industry just from the past that I grew up in. So it was a good fit for me. But one of the things is I didn't document the things I was doing. I was careless, pretty careless with the money. Not careless as in I would go and spend it out partying or something. I would buy a bunch of like
good stuff,
like a bunch of courses and stuff that I would never look at or implement. Now when I buy something, I'm like, okay, if I'm buying this, like I make a commitment to myself to finish through this before I go in, or maybe I'll pre-buy something, but I'll put it
exactly.
on my
Yeah, don't get another one till you're done with that. And that's excuse me, that's where I'm at right now too. I literally just started kind of looking at my stuff a couple days ago, and I was like, damn, dude, like,
yeah,
you've got courses that you're paying for monthly that you've never even logged into, and it's like hundreds of dollars, not even just like
thousands,
a couple bucks. It's like, hey, dude, maybe you should either cut it out or do what you need to do.
I got a couple that I'm really a big fan of right now. I'll plug them. I'm not going to get paid for this, but if you're a consultant, Taylor Welch's wealthy consultant, there's a program in there, his arena. It's only like $220 a month or 320. And there's a mindset Monday every Monday. And then they also have like productivity trainings, a bunch of other things. That's been really good. I just signed up again with Grant Cardone's platinum accelerator, his 12-month. It's like $1,000 a month for like 12 months or 14 months. But I was just at his marketing workshop. Even on Saturday, I was sick, like lying in bed, taking notes, just trying to make it through the day. And then, you know,
I like it. I mean, that's legit right there.
I'm like, dude, I got to get these notes, man. Grant's a massive marketer. So I always try to be a student, even of my own craft there. There's another Brotherhood Mastermind, Masters of Fate, that I've been in for 6 months, and they've really helped me with finding the alignment and stuff within my, not just within myself, but within my business, and making sure that the things I'm doing are for my end goals and my end game. I finally have my, 3, 5, 10 years written out. One of my other biggest issues was I didn't have a set vision. I was just trying to get out of the obscurity and then the scarcity of not having enough money for the first little while. And even after I did, I was making good money, but then that's where the alignment stuff starts coming in, right? So, a lot of people, they get into business in the beginning because I need to make money. And then, okay, cool. Well, now you start making the money, and then you start feeling a little like, okay, what am I doing with all this? Like, then you got to start writing it down. You're like, what's my end game? Like, what do I want? Do I want to help other people? Is it to be a speaker? Do I want to be motivational? Like, whatever that is, do I want to give back to my church, or whatever it is that does it for you? But you'll find that a lot of people get into business in the beginning. It's always about the money, and whoever says it's not is a freaking liar. Okay,
I mean,
so
that's the original reason,
the original,
at some point,
right?
It evolves into something better when you get to the point where you can evolve into that. But yeah, I mean, anybody that says otherwise is lying. I mean, I'll be the first to say I started at Rio Blanco, in 2019. The company was dead. It was out of business. We rebranded it and rebuilt it up.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I make way less money than I did when I was working at an established company as a sales rep. But you go into it understanding, okay, that's going to happen, right? And then you're gonna bear the fruits. It's going to take 3 to 5 years before all that hard work really starts to pay off. And I'm in the 3rd year now, and I can see, you assess everything after a certain period of time, and then you say, hey, look, this is what's good, this is what's bad. We're going to make a complete change. We're going to completely redo the way that we were doing it, and boom, now it's time to really take off and start owning
offices now. Are you running offices now?
I actually consolidated Rio Blanco. We had 3. We had one in Tyler, Texas, one in College Station, and this one here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And my branch manager from San Antonio started his own business, a construction company, about 2 months or so ago, maybe 3 months ago. And I knew about it. He was very transparent about what he was doing, and it was going to be to do some of those projects that I don't want to do as a roofing company. I don't really care to do remodeling and siding and stuff like that. So that was what happened. But then a hailstorm hit and things kind of changed. The game plan had to switch a little bit. So I came down back to San Antonio. I'm going to kind of run this branch, and we consolidated Tyler back into the ASAP office. I turned the College Station one into an ASAP. So it's now our parent company. Instead of being Rio Blanco, it's now ASAP Roofing. Okay, I've got this one 100%, and we went in and got a new office. It's about 4 times the size of what we had, and just going to focus on building in this market. That's
San Antonio?
Goal. Yep.
I don't got anybody out there, man. There's a conversation to be had for getting you guys some sales guys.
Right. Hey, dude, I'm looking for sales guys. That's something that we did. We kind of got a new energy about it, and
you have to. You have to. Like, one of the biggest things I'm going to talk about here for the recruitment side of things is a lot of people think that the recruitment business, like as soon as you're getting recruitment leads, like, okay, things are different since 2020. Okay. That's one thing.
No doubt.
Everyone needs to understand this. In 2020, you could put a now hiring sign on the front of your door and people would walk in, right? Or even at your restaurant or whatever it is. Okay. Now you have to sell yourself as to why you're the best company. The roles have reversed. It has, because now a sales guy can go to 15 other companies because everybody's freaking hiring. Right,
dude, that's such a great point. My gosh.
So that's square one. So just hopping into the mindset of, okay, I can bring you 90 sales rep leads in the first month, and I can get rep leads more targeted than, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, all those, because those ones, it's like slapping a job board and everybody and their mother can apply. Well, now I can target them by their industry on different social platforms, and then have them coming in live time, and also have them auto book onto a calendar and all that automation pretty stuff and all that. But that stuff isn't going to work unless you have a way to sell them as to why you're the best option for that sales rep. And it doesn't even just include money, right? So a lot of people think it's just money. No, they need to feel like they're at home, like the core values and your mission. Like, hey, here at Rio Blanco, we're here to serve our customers to the best of our ability. We're also all about bringing people up the ladder. We like to have fun here at work. It's not just all money, work, work, work. We also have fun. We go out once every 2 months. We have a team dinners or whatever it is that you guys do. Okay. But they need to feel almost included, like a family company, and not just like another number, because everywhere else they feel like a number. And then that's why the turnover rates are huge with them, because there's no real leadership and core values and all that's in place. And I was having a conversation with a guy before, and he wanted sales reps. He's like, I can't keep a sales guy to save my life. I'm like, well, do you have your core values down? No. Do you have a mission? No. Well, like, those are little things that even when I didn't have those in place, when I was first starting my agency stuff, I couldn't keep a sales guy to save my life. The minute I dialed that in was the minute I had my first appointment setter and sales rep stayed for 18 months. And it went from I couldn't keep them longer than 45 days to 18 months. That there was the key point that I was like, okay, this needs to be instilled into every company in order to. Now, sure, you could probably keep a guy for 3 to 6 months or maybe even a year if you get lucky. But if you want to keep bringing on more people that are aligned with your business, you have to start there. And also with the mindset of things are different these days, you have to sell them on why they should come work for you. And we haven't even gotten to the interview yet.
You're spot on. And to me, I think it has been a huge change in that dynamic. And I really never thought of it until you just said that. But it's like, you know what? You're right. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, but every freaking roofing company right now is hiring sales reps. So the sales reps do have a good, and I don't care about that. I was a sales rep for years. I appreciate leverage. I appreciate, whatever. Sure. But I also feel like, okay, with my own company, here's a recent deal that we've gotten. And you bring up such a great point. I just recently hired a guy, maybe about 5 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he's an established guy. He's been doing repairs, and he'd been doing roofing since he was 15 years old, right? And 30 plus years of experience on the roof, hammering, pounding away. Mm-hmm. He comes in, and I've always been one to sell my company. I'm good at that. I can convince the world that Rio Blanco is the greatest thing ever created.
Sure.
But I decided this time, rather than, hey, rah, you can come in and make a bunch of money. I said, why don't you tell me why I should let you be on my team? Mm-hmm. My team is elite. And why should I let you be on my team? What do you bring to the table that can help elevate us another level? Mm-hmm. And we talked, and he said, well, I can do this with my experience and so on and so forth. And I said, well, okay, let's just be blunt. Like, what are you looking for? What do you want? Is this about a paycheck? Is it about money? And he said, hey, I've been working with roofers for years that cut corners, that screw me on pay, that don't make me feel like I'm important at all. And, I said, so what do you really want out of life? You don't want to continue to be up there at 70 years old, pounding a hammer and fixing chimneys, right? And he's like, no, I want to learn, and I want my kids to be proud of me. And right then was the moment when it was like, boom, there you go, dude. You're in the right spot. We're going to take care of you. We're going to make that happen. Yep. And that guy's out right now canvassing actively for me. Mm-hmm. And he went with me yesterday. We did a corporate event over at our office in Tyler, Texas, which is 5.5 hours away by car. One way. Yep. We drove there and back yesterday, but we did a full day training over there, and he went with me. Nice. And it was a complete life-changing day. Yep. And you start seeing that. And I told him, I said, now this is the new standard that we're willing to accept. We were willing to accept the lower standard before, and that's why our results were where they were and why they never got to where they should have been. And we're not going to accept that any longer. So now I'm extremely selective, and I like what you say, you know, being able to, you know, really shave it down, because most of the people on Indeed, you know, that I've hired, Jeremy, the guy that I hired, my first sales rep, he was in the bartending industry. You know, he wanted to get out of doing that because it was a nightlife, but there aren't a whole lot of super amazing candidates that are just in there doing it. So
so one of the things that we also do is we have traits of certain people that are also like dedicated go-getters. So like EMT workers, police officers, vets, personal trainers, all these other people, those are great people to bring in from other industries into your industry. Now, I think you may have got lucky with the bar, because I also did work in the promotional industry for clubs, and man,
it's just too much. It's one in a million, really.
It's a shit show.
It's exactly. And that's why I stopped going that direction, because there was one that worked out of the entire group.
Yes, exactly. I actually tried to build teams in that industry, and it's just everybody just wants to party. Nobody wants to really do anything. And then at the end of the day, they say one thing, do another. So we're not even going to go down that road. But for those other industries, I would like police officers, EMTs, probably firemen too would be great.
People with discipline. I mean, that's what you're saying. Disciplined people is what we're looking for. Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly. Oil field workers are great too. I'm an old oil field worker. One of the things about oil field workers, you know, you're used to long hours, days, you know, and have a hard work ethic, physical as well, not just mental, but mental and physical. We find that's really good. And then once you get into them, you get into your interviews, then it's like you can start doing disc assessments, and then you can, you know, you can go down that road. I'm sure you know all about that. I'm not going to get into disc here today. And then from there, it's asking the good questions like you were doing with that guy. What really matters to you? And at the end of the day, you found out it was family to him.
Yeah,
right.
Nothing to do with money.
Had nothing to do with. Well, he wants to take care of his family through the money, but it wasn't the primary, right? It wasn't really the primary. It was secondary. The money was secondary. The family was primary. And then that aligned with your core values, and you take him out to an event like that. Now the guy's more inclined to go bust his balls for you, not just for you guys, but also for his family and for himself. And so now you have a dedicated guy because you found out that he's here for his family, and you let him know, hey, we're the ones to take care of you and give you those things that you've been looking for outside the other contractors. And I bet you he's probably really happy. I bet you he almost gave up on the roof industry, if anything, because of the way he was treated by all the other contractors.
Oh, it was a crazy thing. I mean, we literally maybe an hour before we fired our repair guy, right? Because he just kept screwing us, and he didn't show up. And we had an elderly lady that we were helping, and we put her off 2 days in a row. And to me, that's not acceptable. So we let the guy go. And it was like, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Mm-hmm. This dude walked in my front door, Billy, and he's like, hey, you know, I've been working with these other companies, but I was looking at your Google reviews, and I saw what you guys do. And I looked at your Facebook and saw that you guys were having fun. And I just wanted to stop by and see if you guys, you know, would have any room for someone. And I was like, dude, you know, this is crazy, because I literally just was saying, you know, someone like this is going to come in, and if you believe it, man, sometimes it really actually does happen. And that's kind of a cool thing. And then it's my goal to, you know, make sure that those guys know that they're appreciated. And I told them, you know, it's my responsibility to make sure that I do not let that standard go low, because one person below our standard is going to bring everybody down.
100%.
And we're not going down. We're going straight to the top. You know, I've got full commitment to this one. I relocated. I just moved from College Station here to San Antonio full time.
How do you like it there? How do you like it?
I love San Antonio, man. I've been here for 3.5 years.
Yeah, nice.
And I never dreamt of coming to San Antonio. It's crazy. The day that they said, hey, do you want to go to San Antonio? First time I ever thought about it. Yeah. But I've been here 3.5 years now, and this is the one I wanted to do. This is the one I said, hey, let me go to San Antonio. Let me work there.
Nice.
It's a tough market, but it needs help. There's a huge opportunity for people that do the right thing. And there's, 6, 8, 10 really good companies here. And then there's a bunch of shitbirds like we got everywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
So there's a good opportunity, right? And what
Yeah.
we've done is actually it's been slow with roofing. I mean, I think across the country, other than in Florida and places that really got smashed, I think it's been down a little bit this year across the nation to a certain degree. And it's been that way for us. It's not been a record year by any means. It's been all right, but nothing crazy. And so we just started kind of looking for other things to do. And, I recognize that workmanship's a bad scenario here. So we started focusing on people's chimneys, dude. We knock on doors of people with chimneys. And it's like, hey, does your chimney leak? And I got to the point with the chimneys now where we've done 5 or 6 of them in the last 2 weeks, completely tear down, rebuild. They're, upwards of $4,000 a chimney, and it's keeping my guy busy. He takes a lot of pride in his work. He bends the metal right there. He's got a brake that he has on site. He builds everything custom there, and that was something that we looked at and said, okay, when you're wanting to retool and you're wanting to look at how you're going to grow to the next level with a roofing company, the first thing we looked at was repairs. Yeah, there's a lot of roofers that do not want to do repairs, myself included, until just recently.
There's a company I was working with for a while. I think they were doing like 10 mil a year, just repairs.
Right. And I mean, why not?
And like, it's not like they're charging super cheap, but like they're making sure they're making profit margins. And, if you work in your margin correctly, a guy can make some bank doing repairs.
Absolutely. And that's what I told my guy, his number, he wants to make 150,000. I was like, dude, we can literally do that with what we're doing right now. We don't even have to grow beyond that. But look at what happens if we grow beyond that. And all of a sudden your life is completely different. But yeah, we started looking at repairs, and that was my angle because I realized nobody else knows how to do any kind of flashing work around here. It's insane how low the standard is for workmanship in San Antonio.
Well, raise the bar, my guy. That's it.
That's what we're doing. We're taking it to the next level. I'm doing a 60 square house right now over in a gated community, and the house beside it. And I'm not hating on anybody. I know it's roofing and we talk, whatever.
Yeah.
It's in a gated community, and the guy next door just got a brand new roof, and it's 3-tab. And I'm like, dude, like, that's what we're competing against. He just got a brand new in a gated community, got a 3-tab. And it looks like trash, and you realize these people don't know. They're informed by whoever. And I don't know if the people know or don't care or whatever. They realize
it's the same in the marketing, the same in the roofing. There's all good apples and bad apples in everywhere you go.
Yep.
There's people that say they can do what they can do. Roofing, if you get to know it, it's, man, phone won't stop dinging. Jeez,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, sometimes we'll see.
Right.
But it's that's why there's your people are raising the standard. Like our recruitment, we don't even charge the highest price, but we deliver a pretty crazy service. The way we'll even help you follow up with your leads, like, and everything like that. Like for rep leads, people don't we treat our sales reps like as if they're a homeowner lead. We'll call you 2 times, leave a voicemail, send a text, and follow up. There's some guys that we've been working with. They've been trying to lock down like $1 million producers, multi-million-dollar producers. And we've had guys that had to follow up with the one guy for 6 months till they got him hired, because they're like, hey, if you're going to follow up with me like this, and then imagine what you're going to do for me. And when you guys give me leads to work. And that's why it's like we're raising the standard on that thing. There's other marketing companies. I see you got the Hook agency here. They're killing it with the memes, right? So
yes,
right.
Sure.
The memes, like that's their angle, is they're doing it with the memes. We started as a marketing company, and then we realized in 2020, a lot of our clients didn't need leads; they needed guys. So I started talking to some of my current clients and said, "Okay, let me try it out, see if we can source some reps for you guys." We end up sourcing, I think, over 500 reps in our first year for companies we worked with. Like, that's a lot of reps. And now the retention, that's not on us, right? Obviously, but exactly. I'll get them in
the door. And when if they get in the door and I can't keep them, that's on me, And I know you probably take a lot of hate from people that can't keep them in the door and say, well, they weren't that good. And You didn't send me anybody of any quality, but
Dude,
that's
that all boils down to
real.
leadership, my friend. That's a leadership problem. I'm not in charge of your sales system. 9 times out of 10, that's why I don't lean in with the marketing anymore. And there's a reason why. The reason why is because if a guy only needs marketing, chances are it's not his marketing that's broken, it's his sales system. Like 8 times out of 10. Like, unless you've already got a dialed in sales system and they're like, I need another 50, 100 leads a month. Like, rather than a guy who calls wanting 20 leads because he doesn't have enough jobs and he's only closing maybe 4 to 8 roofs a month. Chances are something is in his sales system because there's tons of money on this table. I'm sure he's not asking for enough referrals. I'm sure he's not doing, like, I can go deep on the sales system as well myself because we do it in our own agency. And even then, running a remote sales team is a lot harder than running an in-person sales team. I got to get everybody on a daily morning meeting. I got to do check-ins. We got to do end-of-day reports. Where's our KPIs, closing rates? Like, we're on that thing like crazy just within our own team. And I know 80% of roofing contractors out there don't even have those stats down for their company.
No, right? 80 is probably a low number, honestly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Been in this for a long time, and I know there are a lot of people that are just
but and I try to assist where I can to a certain degree. Like, if you just want reps, like, that's cool. But 9 times out of 10, we end up having to go deeper with the company. And I've been doing a lot of rev share deals too now with certain people, like where it's like we'll use your bucks, and then we'll, like, with people that I've known for a while or I know I can trust. I've been doing that. If you're just somebody who's offering it and I've never met you before,
yeah,
I won't
not
be
a
able
good
to do
fit.
something like that. But I still got some of the retainer model, still have the appointment setting model. We still do all that stuff. We just focus on the front end of the recruitment, because I know if you need sales guys, that means you already got enough leads. And once I bring you more sales guys, you're going to need more leads. So it shows me that you're more established of a company to work with than just, hey, a guy wants to buy 10 appointments. It's like, well, no, I already know that 80% of those deals usually fall through the cracks because it's their sales system that's broken. They don't know how to work a cold call lead, or they don't know how to work an inbound lead. Like, there's a process for each type of lead as
Absolutely.
Well. Right?
And if you don't know it, you flounder around, and that's where the bad reputations come from.
Yep. And then knocking the APAC once you go to the cold call appointment. There's so many things that a lot of guys miss. And I'm thinking about actually building. I was already debating on this last week of building like a lead playbook, like how to handle each type of lead, and then like what to do post lead, pre-lead, post lead as well. Like building a full blown playbook, because I've taught it to so many guys, but I haven't built a book on it,
and you know what I always say about stuff like that is I say do it, because the simple fact is no matter what, there's still a huge portion that's not even going to ever use that's never going to take the advice, that already know everything. So I think, the more we can help people and the more we can put out there to make everybody better, those that actually implement it and actually pay attention, they come out so far ahead. So
yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe I'll make a little lead playbook and stuff like that, and a recruitment playbook and little booklets. I also got the idea from watching Grant Cardone's marketing workshop this weekend. He built that millionaire booklet in 2-3 hours, and it's been his most profitable book, he says, since any book.
Yeah, I've got 2 copies of it right here in my office. So yeah,
I got one right there.
Great example. It really is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so you are working primarily, like you said, with roofing and solar.
Yep, stateside.
Yep, placing potential rep candidates with customers that are looking to fill those positions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find qualified people? Do you look outside the industry at all, or are you just recruiting people from straight within? And what does that look like? I've never really experienced it, so I don't know. And don't tell me the whole deal.
It's okay. I got no problem. People can jack it. I don't care. If people jack our process 9 times out of 10,
we can't do it anyway.
You're going to do it, and then we're going to be ahead of you by the time you figure out what we're doing.
Exactly.
So we can target them by industry. Like I said, we're targeting them by their past employment positions, whether it's in the construction industry, veterans, And then the other ones we discussed, and then we can target them by that. And then we actually ask them, we'll get them to fill out lead forms or go to a landing page where it's got videos or whatever about the company. And we can have them either book in the calendar or fill out a lead form, then book into the calendar. And then as soon as that's filled out, it automates to either the recruitment manager. I always recommend sending it to an admin instead of, like, anytime I send it to a sales manager to handle our recruitment stuff, it gets lost. They only got time to make one call. Like, the admin lady can call in the morning and call in the evening and do it again the next day. The sales manager is usually given up after 2 days on one lead, right? Like, they won't, like, it's just
there's a good joke in there about, that's how you become the manager, right? You can't close the actual deal, so you can tell everybody else how to do what you couldn't do. I got you. Not that I know anything about that.
Yeah. So it's like I said, so it's a similar process to leads, but it's a little bit different as to how we handle them. And we get the admin lady to talk with them first, and then book in the calendar or book in the in-person coming into the office. With solar, we do a lot more virtual, because with solar guys, they're doing virtual closings. Now, that being said, the closing rate comes down when you're virtual. We're not going into that, but we'll target by those industries, automate them to the CRM, automate them to the admin lady. I'll notify the owner. My team will get notified as well. And then we'll also have them into a CRM and a lead sheet, just in case if they're having trouble getting into the CRM for whatever, we have a backup database. So that way they can go and take notes or follow up with whoever's missing. And we're able to get them 3 to 7x cheaper than Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, and more targeted. We have their actual roof experience or solar experience. So it'll be like 0 to 6 months, 6 to 12, 12 to 1 year to 2 years, and 2 years plus, or 5 years plus, right? And so we can find out exactly how many years experience they have, and then when you're going to call the candidate, you already sort of have a bit of a feel for their experience, so kind of questions to ask them, and how to walk into the conversation.
Yeah, I like it. That's detailed, and that's hugely important, because like you say, you can send a ton of people, and the better you can filter things down, and not waste as much of your time or their time, that's obviously hugely beneficial. So if we got people watching Keeping It Rio episode number 94 with Billy Batt, and they want to get involved with your business and maybe get some help with landing some quality people, how would they go about doing it?
You can either search me up, Billy Batt, on Facebook, and send me a DM. If you just add me, I'm not going to answer, because I get a whole bunch of people that add me at a rip. But if you send me a message saying, hey, I saw you on the podcast, or you can go to toprecruiter.com. It's TOPRECRUITR, not an ER, so TR.com. We're actually doing a rebrand of our site right now, because we want to build it for more SEO purposes. So you can go there, or Billy Batt, or you can shoot Chuck a DM and say, connect me with that Billy guy.
I'll make it happen. I'll definitely make it happen. Yeah. Code word Chuck.
Code word Chuck. Yeah.
I like it. Cool. I like it. So we'll start getting ready to wrap up a little bit here. I appreciate your time for sure. This has been so much fun. Yeah. You're sitting in front of the set for your podcast there, the New World Marketing Order.
Yeah.
I was on that show like a year and a half ago, before Keeping It Rio started, like right before. Yeah. And I haven't seen it in a while. So what's going on with that?
We're actually getting ready to launch our next season. I had a lot of personal things I was dealing with, and I didn't have time for the show. Like, I literally just had to put it on pause. And I'm moving into a new place because now I've got more definite time with my daughter. So I'm moving into a bigger place, and I'm going to be setting up a whole new office, whole new background, everything. And second season. So we're still in a debate if we're going to keep it as a New World Marketing Order podcast, or we're going to change it to more of a personal development and business development instead of just marketing. I'm just debating on if we should cast a wider net, is my personal debate. We already got 3 episodes recorded, but we didn't put any intros or nothing on there. We haven't said it was the New World Marketing Order podcast, which is welcome to the show. So we wanted to keep it open just in case. But that being said, one of my favorite things was podcasting. So I'm going to get back into it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's no doubt.
It
I took a
is.
little bit of a break off this, but this, like I said, is episode number 94. And I feel like I get better with each one. And it's just so much fun. I was over at RoofCon last week, and I there was this what was it, Behind the Tool Belt, I think is what the show was called.
Nice.
And this dude had the most badass setup. Like, he had this bar with all these stools, he had these sweet microphones popping out and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what, next year or some year down the road, Keepin' It Rio is going to be at RoofCon, right? So I put that on my vision board to do RoofCon with the podcast, because at that point I feel like you've made it.
Yeah.
And
I wish I could have made
it's kind of cool though. Year.
I wish I could have made it. I was too busy with other stuff I had to deal with, and I have to carefully choose my travel dates around my daughter's stuff. You know, I don't want to miss that. She's my number one. So like, even I have I'm hoping we come to terms with before Christmas. We've been working on that back and forth. I may have a settlement done before Christmas. If I get that done, that's going to be my biggest win of the year. So doesn't matter how much money I made, as long as I get the settlement stuff with my daughter done, going for 50-50. And then I'm going to be getting a place in Vegas. So and it's only a 3-hour flight from where I am in Canada. So I can go back down to Vegas, doing events down there, and then back up here. So that's the play. So a lot of good things coming. I'm really excited to see what 2023 has in store.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be huge for a lot of us, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I appreciate you, man. We've been friends for a while now, like from the 10X and all that, and I follow what you're doing, and I certainly wish you the best, you know, with your daughter and all that stuff. I know how much that means to you. And you know, that's cool. So thank you, Billy. I appreciate it.
Yes, you too, brother.
Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up this episode?
I'll drop one thing, man. If you guys are doing the recruitment yourself, if you don't hire a recruitment agency, or if you're trying to do the marketing yourself, there's a lot of resources out there that are free. You don't need to pay for it. The time that you need to pay for it is when you're too busy, where you're making money and you don't have enough time. And if you have time and you're trying to pay someone to get a shortcut, I would suggest at least learning it yourself. Learn a bit of the Facebook ads yourself. Learn the Google ads yourself. Test with a couple dollars yourself, and like, go and look up stuff online. You can literally go to Facebook ad library and look up your competitors. Like, you can see what people are doing and take notes, build little mini swipe files. Like, and I know this is going to be helpful for a lot of people that are just starting out that are listening to the podcast, because a lot of people think you need to go and hire somebody. You need to, in the beginning, if you got time, if you got maybe your wife or an admin lady or somebody, just go and look at some of the free stuff. There's so much information out there for you guys. You don't need to pay people right away, and then think that it doesn't work and then turn yourself off from an agency or from whatever. Like, go and test it out. Go and try it out yourself. Go and learn at least the basics, and then get a bit of traction before you consider hiring somebody that's running a full-blown agency. I think that's probably some of the best info I could give out for the guys starting out.
Boom, there you go. I don't think you can end a show any better than that. That's like the cherry on top of the gold sundae. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode. If you liked it, do me a favor, share it, give a comment, give the thumbs up, all that stuff.
Thank you, dude.
And continue with Keepin' It Rio. So, Billy, thank you. I appreciate you. We'll do this again sometime down the road, I'm sure. And I continue to look forward to watching you succeed. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm getting ready to go out, and I'm going to go hit the 8-pack on the house I'm doing today. So nice. There you go.
Get it, brother. Get it.
All right, my man. Take care. Thank you very much.
You too.